Most of the weight you carry in life does not come from what happens to you. It comes from how your mind responds to what happens. This is uncomfortable to admit because it removes the comfort of blaming circumstances. But it is also liberating because it gives you back control. Think about how your days usually begin. The mind wakes up before the body. Thoughts rush in. Worries about what needs to be done. Regrets about what wasn't handled well. Expectations about how people should act. Fears about what might go wrong. Before anything has actually happened, your inner world is already tense. The body follows the mind into stress. You overanalyze small interactions. You replay conversations that are already over. You imagine future outcomes that may never arrive. You take neutral moments and turn them into emotional storms. And deep down, you already know this truth. If your mind were steadier, calmer, more disciplined, most of these problems would lose their grip on you. Life would not suddenly become easy. People would still disappoint you. Delays would still happen. Loss would still exist. But the extra suffering you add on top of reality would disappear. That is where most pain lies, not in events themselves, but in the mental resistance you place against them. The Stoics understood this long before modern psychology put names to it. They saw that the quality of a person's life is determined less by circumstances and more by internal order. When a mind is chaotic, even good fortune feels stressful. When a mind is stable, even difficulty becomes manageable. Your thoughts shape your experience. Over time, they shape your character. And eventually, they shape your destiny. If your inner dialogue is fearful, reactive, and undisciplined, your life will feel the same way. But if your thinking becomes grounded, intentional, and clear, the world stops feeling like an enemy. The first realization that changes everything is understanding where your influence truly ends. Most mental exhaustion comes from trying to control things that were never under your authority. You try to manage how people think about you. You try to influence how fast life unfolds. You try to predict outcomes. You try to force fairness. And when reality refuses to cooperate, frustration follows. There is a simple but brutal truth. Some things belong to you, and some things never will. Your effort belongs to you. Your values belong to you. Your discipline belongs to you. Your response belongs to you. Your integrity belongs to you. Other people's opinions do not. Outcomes do not. Timing does not. Random events do not. The past does not. When you reverse this order, suffering multiplies. You begin obsessing over results while neglecting effort. You seek approval while ignoring self-respect. You attempt to control others while failing to control your own reactions. This creates a constant sense of helplessness because the mind is investing energy where it has no power. Relief begins the moment you separate what is yours from what is not. When something frustrates you, pause and ask a simple question. Is this within my control? If it is, act with precision and responsibility. If it is not, release it without guilt. Releasing is not weakness. It is intelligence. It is choosing where your energy belongs. Letting go does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop draining yourself. You withdraw emotional investment from battles that cannot be won and redirect it toward actions that actually shape your future. The world may remain unpredictable, but your inner state no longer has to be. Another truth that most people resist is that emotions are not forces that attack you from the outside. They are reactions created inside you. Anger, fear, jealousy, and insecurity do not exist independently of your interpretation. They arise when you assign meaning to events. Two people can experience the same situation and feel completely different emotions. One remains calm. The other collapses. The difference is not luck. It is mental conditioning. Modern culture encourages instant reaction. Say what you feel immediately. Express everything. Vent constantement. But this trains emotional impulsivity, not emotional strength. Stoic discipline teaches the opposite. It teaches you to create space between what happens and how you respond. That space is where freedom lives. When something triggers you, pause. Slow your breathing. Name what you feel without judgment. Anger, anxiety, hurt. By observing the emotion, you separate yourself from it. What you can observe no longer controls you completely. Then examine the story behind it. Ask yourself what meaning you assign to the event. Most emotions come from assumptions, imagined threats, or unhealed memories, not from reality itself. Taking responsibility for your emotions does not mean denying pain. It means refusing to let your inner world be hijacked by every external stimulus. When you own your emotional responses, manipulation loses its power. Other people can no longer steer your state of mind. Calm becomes something you carry, not something you wait for. Much of your disappointment in life is rooted in expectations, not in reality, but in the silent contracts you create in your mind. You expect people to act as thoughtfully as you do. You expect loyalty from those who have not shown consistency. You expect fairness, recognition, and timing that align with your hopes. When these expectations collapse, you feel betrayed. But often, reality did not fail you. Your assumptions did. Expectation ties your peace to conditions you cannot control. Acceptance brings your peace back to yourself. This does not mean becoming passive or indifferent. It means observing instead of demanding. It means allowing people to reveal who they are rather than forcing them into who you want them to be. When you replace expectation with observation, clarity emerges. You stop being shocked by behavior. You stop fighting reality. You begin responding intelligently instead of emotionally. Much of your suffering fades the moment you stop insisting that life follow your script. Another misconception modern life promotes is the belief that comfort leads to happiness. In truth, comfort weakens resilience. A mind that avoids all discomfort becomes fragile. Small inconveniences feel overwhelming. Minor setbacks feel catastrophic. Strength is built through controlled difficulty. Voluntary discomfort trains the nervous system to remain steady under pressure. It teaches you that effort is not danger and that difficulty is survivable. Every time you choose the harder option when an easier one is available, you reinforce self-trust. Difficult conversations, finishing tasks when motivation disappears, showing up tired, resisting short-term gratification. Each of these moments strengthens discipline. Discomfort does not punish you. It prepares you. The moments you once avoided become the source of confidence. Life stops feeling intimidating when you know you can withstand pressure. Most of what drains your peace never actually happens. Your mind creates scenarios, judgments, and disasters that reality never confirms. You replay past conversations. You imagine future rejection. You interpret silence as abandonment. You fight battles that exist only in thought. Imagination, when uncontrolled, becomes a source of suffering. Overthinking is not insight. It is fear disguised as analysis. The discipline here is learning to separate facts from stories. Facts are what you know for certain. Stories are what your mind adds. When you strip away the story, most problems shrink. When your thoughts spiral, ask yourself what is actually happening right now. Not what might happen. Not what you fear. Right now. Returning to the present dissolves imaginary suffering. Peace only exists here, not in the future you are inventing. In a world addicted to noise and reaction, silence becomes a form of strength. Silence is not absence. It is control. It prevents impulsive speech. It preserves dignity. It allows clarity to return before action. Not every provocation deserves a response. Not every insult deserves explanation. When you refuse to react immediately, power shifts. You stop being predictable. You stop being manipulable. Silence becomes a boundary without conflict. Silence also protects your inner world. Emotional reactions often reveal more than intended. Calm restraint preserves authority. When you master silence, you stop being pulled into chaos and start directing your energy intentionally. Another source of unnecessary suffering is personalization. You assume every shift in tone, every delay, every inconsistency reflects your worth. In reality, people act from their own fears, stress, wounds, and limitations. Someone's behavior says more about their inner state than your value. When you internalize this, emotional weight lifts. You stop absorbing moods that do not belong to you. Detachment is not coldness. It is maturity. Your worth is not renegotiated every time someone has a bad day. Obstacles are often misunderstood as interruptions. But difficulty is not blocking your path. It is shaping it. Every challenge contains instruction. Every setback reveals where growth is required. When you stop asking why something happened and start asking how it can strengthen you, resistance turns into momentum. Progress is built by working with difficulty, not fighting it. Life is not trying to stop you. It is refining you. Living with the awareness that time is limited sharpens everything. When you remember that your days are numbered, trivial concerns lose importance. You stop postponing what matters. You stop tolerating what drains you. Awareness of mortality does not create fear. It creates urgency and clarity. It reminds you to live deliberately, not automatically. Finally, there's the choice between character and approval. Approval is unstable. It shifts constantly. When your identity depends on it, peace disappears. Character, however, remains steady. It is guided by internal standards, not external applause. When you choose integrity over popularity, you stop explaining yourself. You stop shrinking. You stop living for validation. Character cannot be taken from you. Approval can vanish overnight. When you look at these principles together, a pattern becomes clear. Life does not transform when circumstances change. It transforms when your responses change. When a mind becomes disciplined, most problems dissolve without force. Choose one principle and practice it today, not later. Today, growth begins with action, not intention. Master your mind, and the rest of life follows.